Hello, guys. Welcome to our podcast called Ellas. We are your hosts, Yaquelin and Mia, y nosotros somos Ellas. Today, we are talking about Latinas in sports media industry. Here with us today, we have award-winning Latina sports anchor, reporter, and guest, Paloma. Is it
Villacaña?
Villacaña? Okay. Paloma Villacaña. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Muchas gracias. Honored to be on here. Latinas are just so amazing. We're so hardworking. We're so passionate. I love being Mexican American, and I know my family worked so hard to provide me where we're sitting right now at UNLV. It is such a blessing, and I'm honored to be with you guys today.
Oh, I appreciate it. We love it.
Yes, one thing I really want to mention is I've seen a lot of your pictures and on reports, and I love the full glam.
I definitely have some full glam sometimes. Yes. Not today because we're in a podcast studio, but it is Vegas. You got to bring out the sparkles. You got to bring out all the glitter and all that.
No, but I love it. You just look so effortless,
Thank you.
And I'm like, how does she do it?
Thank you. I don't feel it. I don't feel effortless. No. But thank
oh my gosh,
you.
We love it. Yes, we love it. I just wanna we just kind of want to go ahead and with your background, how you got started.
Sure.
So go ahead.
So my dad played football. He coached college football growing up in San Diego. So football has always been a really big part of my life. I've watched every game with my dad. If girls' high school football or flag football was not a thing for me growing up, but if it was a sport, I would have played it and gone on and hopefully went to college and all that. But I always grew up wanting to be Erin Andrews on the sidelines of an NFL game. And I always told my dad, I could do that. I know so much. And it really started with that. And in high school, I started working at a local news station in San Diego. So in high school, I was already let's roll, let's do this. So I was interviewing football players, baseball players, working for all the teams in San Diego. So that was, kind of just my calling. And then I went to TCU. I majored in sports broadcasting. So just like you guys, I was able to get 4 years of experience at TCU. And when I was there, our football team, we were number 4 in the country. Wow. So great experience to work every game. Every football, basketball, baseball, soccer, worked every game I could. I was telling you guys how amazing your studio is, and the journalism school is so amazing here. When I was in school 10 years ago, I was, really scratching and fighting and trying to shoot stand-ups and trying to get in studio and trying my hardest to even do sports broadcasting. So it's awesome that the resources you guys have here, UNLV is obviously amazing here in Vegas. So kind of just a little bit about me. I feel like my work ethic is very strong since a young age. And when I was in college, I worked for every professional team in Dallas. So the Cowboys, the Rangers, the Stars, the Mavericks, FC Dallas, every team in Dallas I worked for because I really wanted to get that experience. So that's what I always tell UNLV students is to just go to every single game you can. You don't even have to be in front of the camera. Just go and get that experience and get those reps in is what I like to say. So I worked for the Cowboys right out of college and was like, oh my God, this is my dream, working for the Cowboys. But I knew I really wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be a sports anchor, sports reporter, and I wasn't doing that every day with the Cowboys. So I had to be like, okay, let me kind of take a leap. And I moved to West Virginia, the middle of nowhere. But I was able to cover big time college football and big time college basketball working in West Virginia. It was just an amazing opportunity to go out there, be a full-time sports anchor, sports reporter, be in front of the camera every day, interviewing coaches, interviewing players, I covered an NFL training camp out there with the Patriots and the Texans. So immediately right out of college, I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, just getting those reps every single day is what, with anything, is how you get better. So I spent a year in West Virginia. Then I moved to Alabama and I worked in the SEC. I know, I'm from San Diego and I'm literally like on the other side of the country. I worked in the SEC and I was out there for a year and a half, almost 2 years. And that was a huge opportunity to work for Alabama and all the big time SEC schools. I went to every big game and every big stadium, not only for football, but for basketball too. So working with Nick Saban, working with, you know, all the big time football players, covering a national championship. That was great. That was literally a great chapter in my life. And then I moved to Vegas during COVID. So it was super challenging at first. Not knowing any of the coaches, not knowing any of the players, not knowing if I'm going to have a job, you know, at the end of the year or anything. So, it was amazing because I really got to see this city become what it is now. You know, I saw this city go through the COVID struggle. I saw Allegiant Stadium go up. I saw the Raiders move here. I just saw the transformation of this city, and to know that my job at first was super challenging because my show was on Zoom. My interviews were on Zoom. I didn't even know if I was going to have a show tomorrow. Like, here I am working so hard on this show, not even knowing if there's going to be a game tomorrow. Like, it was a lot of hard work, So, you know, past COVID, I've been able to really get in this city and have a lot of fun. The Super Bowl, the NFL draft, the Aces, their championships, the Golden Knights. Like, it has been, couldn't even write this up. Like, it was just, it's been such an amazing, like, fairy tale, like a fairy tale. It's like, oh my gosh, everything in Vegas has been so awesome. But, and now, I mean, it's only going to get better with the Super Bowl and all the big events coming. But, I would say in college, I was so focused on staying in Dallas and working for the Cowboys and never leaving. And now I'm in Vegas and I've covered so much in my career over the past 10 years. And I'm so thankful to make that decision of, you know, hey, I'm not in front of the camera every day and this is something I want to do. So I need to leave this cushy job and go move to West Virginia by myself at 22 years old, go live in West Virginia by myself, live in the snow and drive in the snow and all that. But it's kind of those moments in your life where you're like, I'm really passionate about this. I really want to do this. What are the sacrifices it takes to do that? So yeah, that's kind of my journey.
We love it.
Yeah.
We love it. It's like,
that's been an insane journey.
Yeah.
Just
totally.
like for people like us that were barely starting, it seems like, whoa.
envy.
Yeah, I mean, it's you could be so focused on what you want to do and another door will open and another opportunity. And when I moved to Vegas, I had no idea. I mean, I was like, I had no idea that the Super Bowl was going to be here, the draft, all of that, you know? So I feel very blessed and very thankful, and all the hurdles and the driving in the snow and everything I had to go through, it just makes me really appreciate the big moments here in Vegas.
It paid off.
Yeah.
Oh, we love that. We love that.
So we were kind of hoping to get now your thoughts on like the diversity in the industry, because as we have seen, over like 80% of most of the reporters, anchors, columnists are white males. So like, we just wanted to get your thoughts. How did you navigate the waters of the industry, as there weren't many Latinas, like women and Latinas in the field?
So growing up, I really only saw maybe 2 or 3 women on TV in sports, like, period. You know, there was Erin Andrews, Pam Oliver, only a couple females literally on camera in sports. So when I graduated college in 2017, there still weren't that many women on air, especially Latinas. And I guess, it just depends if you work in LA or Miami, just depends on the city that you're into, Houston, Dallas. There just weren't, first of all, there weren't many Latinas. There weren't even many women on air in sports, so that dream job that I was, hoping for, it very slim, the opportunities. So I feel like for me, I've always been knocking on the door, pushing the door down, even when there's not a job opportunity, letting people know, like, hey, I'm here, I can do this, I can go host that event, I'm here, I'm available. So now in 2026, I see so many women everywhere, and it's amazing. And at least in my experience, what I'm seeing now is that there are more women working in sports, getting hired in sports. To be honest, I'm just going to say it. I think companies right now are choosing a female sports reporter over men. So you girls are in a great position. And I want to be able to show you girls that you can do it. And if you do speak Spanish, that is so helpful. It is so amazing when you go into a locker room, whether you're covering the Lights FC or whatever team you're covering, and you speak Spanish, and that's so helpful. Or my Spanish is not as strong as it used to be. I grew up going to Mexico every single year. My family's from Guadalajara, my whole family, we're from Guadalajara. My family is from a small town called Talpa, right outside Guadalajara.
Been there, yes.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's tiny. So I used to go every year growing up, but now that I'm older, I don't have much time. But I would love for my Spanish to get back to where it used to be. I don't use Spanish on air that much here in Vegas, but that would be different if I worked in San Diego, LA, Miami, Houston, just more of like a Spanish community. I've known, in the NFL and in different sports, I just haven't been able to use my Spanish. But there are tons of players and coaches that speak Spanish. And if you already have that relationship, like that connection, I would say, that's huge. And that, first of all, if you just put it on your resume that you can speak Spanish, that is so big. And then second, you just want to represent your culture, represent your country, and how hard your family has worked for you to sit in this podcast room right now. Like, it's just it's incredible. Like, that's how I feel.
How do you navigate that, like speaking to your parents about, I'm going into this career? Sometimes, especially with my parents, they're like, okay, like, pero qué estás haciendo? Eso qué significa? And I'm like, no sé.
Or you're like, are you a doctor? Are you an engineer?
Sure.
And it's not like,
I think something. So. I think my parents, they have always been behind me in my career. And then I think because my dad has a football background of playing football, like, he really supports my dreams. And in fact, he watches every show and every interview, and he always calls me, and he's so proud of me. So it's really gratifying to know that, I was able to make my parents proud. But I think you have to show your parents, this is what I'm really passionate about, and it makes me happy. And say you take a job, and this might happen in your life, like you take a job that's just a job, and you're not happy at it, and you're not doing what you love, and you're not getting better at what you want to do, and you kind of feel like you're wasting your time. That's when that's when your gut knows, like, no,
it's not for me.
I'm passionate about this. I'm going to school for this. Like, I'm going to make it in this. And you're going to make it. You're going to make it. So,
Well, it's because I feel like that's where, like, me especially, I struggle a little bit with it because my parents are immigrants, and they came over, and obviously I'm here today because of them. And so I kind of feel like in my situation, I feel like if this doesn't pan out, to me it feels like a weight, like on me in my mind, because I'm like, okay, they did all of this, but
well, you're
like, how do you like, have you ever navigated through that? Like,
I think I'm 31. I just turned 31, and I still feel very young, but I still feel like
you look young.
Still feel like I have a responsibility to make my parents, and my parents are getting older. They are. Both of them are getting older, and as I get older, I'm like, okay, I need to start thinking about them. Like, they're getting older. I have to spend some more time with them and make sure that they're all good to go. And I think that you will be successful. You're already here at UNLV, and that is already so much more ahead of other students. And you're already in this major, so you are set up for success. A lot of students shadow me at games. Not even students. I mean, just people shadow me at games, and you know, girls will come up to me and they've done nothing for 4 years and they need to get a job out of their senior year, and they've done no internships and they've worked nowhere and they've done no stand-ups and they don't even know how to do a stand-up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know, use your resources here at school, use your resources here in Vegas, and you know, there is so much success in this business. I think whether what do you want? Do you want to be on
Sports
air?
Media,
Okay. So I mean, there's just so much opportunity right now, and there's so much opportunity for women too. Like I mentioned, like companies want to hire women. They want to see that diversity, and you speak Spanish. That is massive. You know, that is massive. Every baseball team needs a reporter. Every soccer team needs a reporter. Yeah, and your Spanish will be so useful, and I think that's maybe something you should tell your parents is, I am way ahead of the game versus someone who can't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, you have such a big advantage over other candidates. And you're smart and you're beautiful and you're talented. So I don't know what you're worrying about, girl. I don't know what you're worrying about. Yeah.
Oh, we love it. Okay, I feel better.
Good little therapy session today. Some girls, we just need to talk it out. This is what we were made to do.
Me estoy desahogando, you know? We love it. How about you, Mia?
I grew up both my parents being soccer players, so they expected me to be a soccer player. I was like, it's not for me, dude. I think they're happy that I'm kind of doing something in sports, but at the same time, like with my grandparents, traditional grandparents are like, you're not a doctor, you're not a lawyer. And I'm like, yes, but I like this. So it's kind of hard to navigate those waters, but ultimately, like you said, if you love it, it's going to work out.
And I think your parents just want you to be happy, and at the end of the day, you know, your well-being is so important to them. And it's hard. I still want to make my parents proud, and I'm still working hard to make sure that my mom likes my hair and my makeup, and she likes my shirt. She's my hardest critic. My mom is my hardest. She'll watch every show and be like, your hair and your shirt and your too much lipstick and all this stuff. So it is a blessing. I think it is a blessing to have parents that are hard on you. It is a blessing. Because you always have someone in your corner that's rooting for you, pushing for you, gonna be there for you. My mom has followed my career. Like, she's helped me move. She's come to different states, and she's lived with me to make sure that I'm okay. And I'm like, that's such a blessing. You know, even though they're hard, it is love. It is love.
You know, shout out to our parents.
So now we want to ask you, like, what advice do you have for people starting out in this industry, and more so, like, because for me, it's kind of hard to fight imposter syndrome. How do you fight with it? Like, how do you go about it?
Yeah, I think right now there are so many opportunities that are not traditional. When I was applying for jobs, I wanted to be sports reporter, and it was just so black and white. Like, I wanted to be on air, on TV. There's just so many different opportunities now with teams and different networks and different TV stations. And for example, at the Raiders, there is an entire content team where, you know, you get to do interviews, you get to do podcasts like we're doing right now. There's just so many different roles that's not traditional sports anchor, sports reporter. Like, nowadays, every single company needs some type of sports media content.
Content creation.
Gosh, I'm trying to think of, like, what the title is called. It's like creative director, producer, creative director, all of those different terms. So I wouldn't put yourself too much in a box. You know, I maybe that's something I did my senior year, was like, I'm going to be a sports reporter and just Google that and that's it. Like, there's just think about every single team in the country. Yeah. I mean, not even in the country. Here in Vegas. Here in Vegas, we have so many teams here, and they all need, you know, your expertise in everything you're doing here at UNLV. I work with the Lights, I work with the Aviators, I work with the Golden Knights, I work with every team here, and to see their team and all the content they do every day, like, it's impressive. Yeah. So I would say the opportunity is endless. Don't necessarily kind of put yourself in a box and say, like, I'm only going to do this. And guess what? Your first job, you don't have to stay there for the rest of your life. You know, like, if you want to be there for a year, my first job out of college, I was there for, I think, 9 months, like 9 months to a year. And then I was on to the next job. So, and also your whole life is ahead of you. So your first job out of college, that's not the end of your life. You know, I've had so many different jobs in so many different states, and I probably will have more jobs down the road, you know? So
it's a learning process.
Yeah, it's just be open, I would say. Be open. Think about all the teams in the country. They need your skills. Yeah. You're already ahead of the ball. And you're here at UNLV. Like, this is such a good school and a good journalism program, so you guys are already ahead. Which is good.
Because for me, I feel like I also have the imposter syndrome, but it's because I'm 24 and everybody around me is 19, 20, 21. And so I'm like, I'm so old. My back hurts. God. My knees hurt.
No,
so that's
not
why
at all.
I'm like, okay, I started later than everybody else. So I think I get in my own head. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here.
No, don't worry. And
everybody around me is a child.
You're so young and there's so much opportunity. And I think you just have to be hungry for it too. You know, working in sports, it is not, at least for me, it's never been 9 to 5. It's never been easy. It's never been chill. Those words don't exist in my life. But I love it. I love talking to people, interviewing coaches, because I just love to get to know people, get to know their stories, get to know their journey too, like everything they've been through in life. I feel like I grow every time I do an interview, and I've met so many people and talked to so many people. It's a really gratifying career. So if you love it, you're going to love it.
Yes. Listening to all your experience, it really allows us to confide that there is a process that we're going to eventually move forward in. Like you said, don't stay in the box. And overall, thank you for sharing your journey, your thoughts on the diversity in the industry, and overall, like, advice that you would have to offer to
us
course
Latinas. I'm always here for you girls. And you know, you being Latina is the best thing in the world. You're so beautiful and you're so passionate, and you know, you're so hardworking, and it's the thankful attitude you have too. You know, nothing's handed to us, nothing is served to us on a silver spoon. Like, we have to work for everything. And then you mentioned your parents and your family and how proud you are to be here at UNLV and to be making a career for yourself. Like, it is a blessing to be here in this podcast room. So it's a blessing to be with you girls.
It's in our blood. Okay, thank you so much, Paloma. We really appreciate it.
Of course.